I am loving the KORG handytraxx Play. I haven't even had the chance to really have a good old dive into it. So here goes. This is what it looks like, size comparison with the Vestax handytraxx USB. The KORG is slightly heavier. For obvious reasons it's heavier. There's a lot more going on the KORG. Has a nice weight to it. These are the feet on the bottom. You see this, Stanton? You watching? It plays 12-inch vinyl. This is the reason I got rid of my STX. Had some great features on the STX, but being a turntable, you need to play 12-inch vinyl. If my OMNI can do it, the Vestax can do it, the KORG can even do it. And from a manufacturer or company that makes turntables as well as other things, you'd think that they'd make sure it can play 12-inch vinyl. Yes, we all know these turntables are used for scratching, but wouldn't it be nice if they were able to be used for something else? I know these turntables don't have the correct size platter to play 12-inch vinyl, but wouldn't it be nice if they could actually play 12-inch vinyl? If you went crate digging and you saw something, oh, I want to listen to that, you could actually listen to it on this. Something like the STX not being able to play 12s. You might have to wait in a queue of people that are trying to listen to vinyl in that market or in that store. I'm not expecting anybody to start scratching on 12-inch vinyl. But for this turntable, being able to play 12-inch vinyl gives it so many more purposes, uses, and makes it that much more desirable. Enough of that. Although the KORG has the perforated areas left and right, there is only a speaker that I can see on the left, although sometimes the sound can travel through it. And it does sound very good. You could actually go digging with this turntable. And you're getting decent enough audio from it that you can make a clear decision on what treasures you've discovered. It has decent enough volume. You get the power adapter with this, and you get many different mains adapter fittings depending on which country you are in. All of the inputs, outputs, functions on the side are quite self-explanatory. You can power this by fitting internal batteries. You can also power this by using the mains adapter that comes with the turntable, and you can also use a power bank, all straight into that USB-C. The tubular tone arm is metal, the head is plastic, and the counterbalance weight part is plastic. Not too sure how all of that adjusts. I haven't tried it yet. I'm guessing you turn that wheel at the back, that is metal, and I would imagine you would be winding the counterbalance weight towards the head in one direction and away from the head in the other direction to whatever weight you need. I expect. I'm not certain on that. With all the goings on under that plastic black hood. You've got a nice clip on this for the tone arm when you're traveling. It's a belt drive turntable. As you pick up the tone arm, the turntable rotates. You get two mats with this. The platter is plastic. It comes with the same center adapter as the Vestax. You've got all the speeds you need. And you can finally adjust the pitch. For me, the best thing about this turntable is the effects and how it works in conjunction with the loop section. Absolutely loving the delay, the level of delay, the feedback and the tempo adjustments. Magnificent stuff. The loop sampler. I have found that I can create a loop from different records that are better than any backing track I could play to scratch. I created a sample loop using the piano riff in Energy by Drake and another beat on top of that. I created a beat I could never ever imagine creating. And when I created that, I said to myself, you do not need to play your smartphone or have anything plugged into aux to listen to when you're scratching. Make your own beat up using that sampled loop section. It is mad. And when you throw some effects on it, crazy goes to another level. Game changer. This is a reason again why it's great to be able to play 12-inch vinyl. If I had the STX that does not play 12-inch vinyl, I would not have been able to grab that sample off that Drake track on that 12-inch vinyl. This plain 12-inch vinyl allows me to create a loop sample from any vinyl of any size. That is one enormous benefit of the handytraxx Play. When you create a loop, you can layer the loops. If you wanted to create one loop, it actually records for 20 seconds. Placing in and out points on that loop sampler is so easy. Just press record on your in point and press stop on your out point. As simple as that. You can't really get it wrong. If your timing's good, it hasn't even got to be split second perfect. Just to create a 4-beat bar loop. On the beat, off the beat, and that sample is created. Crazy. If you use that full 20 seconds and you want to put another loop sample on top of that, the amount of recording that you've created on the first loop shrinks a bit. It might be a write-rewrite thing going on there. I'm not too sure, but I created a 20-second loop, tried to put another 20-second loop on top of that, and I think the first original loop might have ended after 16 seconds, and then the other loop I put on top lasted the full 20 seconds. So I'm not too sure how that goes, but if you just wanted to do maybe a 10-second loop or even a 5-second loop and put another 5-second loop and another loop to create something unique, that can be done. Creating a loop using the loop sampler section and then throwing a little effect on it, that's easily the best part about this KORG handytraxx Play. If you power the turntable down and then power it back up again, it doesn't keep your sampled loop. You will need to create that again. Throwing that lever to the 33-45 or the 45-33 speeds up your sample or slows down your sample. The fader is good. I don't know if it's the best fader. I don't know if it's the worst fader. I don't know how long it will last, but you can reverse it using a switch on the side, or you can maybe buy your own fader, depending on what style you use. I know there has been some talk about being able to rotate this board so that you can scratch a different way. So here it is. Scratching on the turntable's okay. I'm no world champion, but it seems to do the job. There's no play in the tone arm. It seems nice and steady, no wobble. Tracking seems to be good. Fader's got a minimal bit of play, but overall as a scratch turntable, it does the job. Box ticked. Looking at the way that it is set up, you could say the fader's in the wrong place. I understand that. In the filter section, there's 3 types of filters or 3 types of effects. One is what you might get if you have a high and a low EQ. One has got a different kind of effect. Not too sure how to explain it. Maybe a gated kind of sound. And the third filter is like a warbling effect. I did hear there was one called wah or war, but it sounds a bit like a flanger. They're okay. The scratch and effect on or bypass does exactly what it says. When it's on bypass, you don't have any effects. And when it's on, you can layer on the effects. Now, I love this turntable, really do. And I've maybe used it, for a bit. I know there's not a high level of enthusiasm in my voice. And you may say, I'm not really selling it. Because just like me and many others, when we knew this was coming out, oh, when's it coming out? When's it coming out? Oh, it does this, it does that. And everybody's so into it and they're excited and they can't wait for it to come out. And then when you get it, I'm not being horrible here, but if you're into portables and scratching, portablism, after you use the turntable, you create loads of beats with the loop sampler to make your backing tracks, and then you're scratching, you get a bit bored because you're doing exactly the same thing that you could have done before on another turntable. And although I've said that, it's a fantastic little machine. It's packed with a lot of features that other portables don't have. The OMNI doesn't have a lot of these features. The STX doesn't have a lot of these features, but there's features on those that this doesn't have. This is just another one. And I think it's definitely worth buying. There was mention of the king of portables. And if you think about something like the OMNI with its Bluetooth capability, DVS capability, metal tone arm, metal head shell, metal weights, metal platter, being able to instantly swap the positions of your faders. All of the operation buttons just have a bit more quality to them. If you look at something like the KORG, especially the power button, just that fine pin button. It works fine, but it's nothing special. It resembles one of those reset buttons that you get on a lot of electronic equipment, and that there's not much to them. And the other selector buttons on the side, they're quite small. They do the job fine, but some people might think they're quite fiddly. There just seems to be a finished superior quality to the OMNI that this KORG doesn't have. It's not just a 12-inch vinyl playing turntable. It has a loop sampler, and a good one, and one that I believe is a bit of a game changer. Makes me want to keep using it because it's not just a scratch turntable. I love this turntable. I would say the OMNI is still the one, but I still highly recommend the KORG handytraxx Play.